Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Sharonaya here, and in today's video I want to talk to you about some really important tips that I believe are helpful to all designers at the beginning of their career. So this could be in your journey to becoming a UX designer or at the start of your first job. So without wasting any more time, let's get into today's video. So the first tip I would have is to speak up and make yourself visible. So if you've already started working at a company, for example, if it's your first job, be sure to ask questions and give your opinion, give your own thoughts and 2 cents on things as they come up. This gives you a lot of visibility, and this will also help you learn fast. So if, for example, there's something that you don't have a full clarity on, someone will probably correct you or give you the full picture, which will help you learn faster. Now, if you haven't gotten your first job or opportunity first, still try to be visible. So promote yourself, promote your work, talk about things that you're working on social media, connect with people, and just try to really project yourself, make yourself seen. At the end of the day, this is really important because people start to associate you with UX design as an interest, and just like that, expose yourself to more opportunities. Second tip is to do more practicals than theory. This is really important because when you're just starting out, it's really easy to get stuck in this loop where you're constantly watching YouTube videos or taking courses without actually creating tangible products. So it's really important sometimes to just, close those browser tabs and close those courses, close YouTube, shut down, and just open Figma and get to work. Open whatever design tool you choose and get to work. This is so key. Look for a problem around you that you think needs solving or is already solved and you think you could do better. Just look for something and actually get to work. At the end of the day, doing practicals can help you skill up a lot faster than watching endless courses. And while courses do have their own role to play in the progress that you make as a designer, getting practical also plays an even bigger role. Next tip is do not take feedback personally, ever. So it's really important to separate yourself from your work. So for example, this is you, this is your work. 2 completely different entities. Do not try to conflate the two. So if someone says, for example, oh, I don't really understand what you were going for here, this is not very clear to me. That does not mean that what you have done is bad. What it just means is that it's unclear, and that also doesn't mean that you are a bad designer. It just means that there is room for improvement. So try to always separate yourself, your ego, from that. It is, of course, normal to probably feel a little bit discouraged, but try not to stay there. Just shake it off and keep moving. Take the feedback and make your iterations. Now, of course, also it's really important to note that not all feedback is actually good feedback. And as you grow in your career, you start to learn how to sift through the quality feedback versus the other feedback that's not so good or applicable to you. Next thing to remember is that processes are flexible. Now, if you're getting into UX design, you have seen 1,000 different UX processes. You've seen double diamond, design thinking, design sprints. It's everywhere and it can be so confusing. But I just want to let you know that a lot of the time when you're actually on the field, not all of your projects will actually require you to do these processes. And some of them might even require you to mix it up and create your own process. These processes are meant to be flexible. They are not set in stone. In some cases, you might find yourself going from task to solution immediately without a lot of research in between. It doesn't mean that you're a bad designer. It just might mean that the project is really unique. Maybe there's a short timeline and you just need to get things done quickly. So at the end of the day, make the processes work for you, edit them, adjust them as you need. Next tip is to document everything. It doesn't matter if it's your own personal project, if it's a work project, document as much as possible. So thank God there are amazing tools these days like Google Docs or Notion that can help you with the process of documenting a lot faster. So you want to keep note of everything. This will also really help you when you're trying to write case studies and populate your portfolio. It also helps you keep track of small details that can sometimes get lost in the course of projects that we work on. Next thing to remember is that copying does not make you a bad designer. It does not. Now, when I say copying, I don't necessarily mean just copying other people's solutions and just dumping it into your file. I mean carefully looking at how other people have solved a similar problem and trying to find out how that solution could possibly be applicable to what you're working on now. They say if it's not broken, then don't fix it. Of course, there is room to be an innovator in UX, but just know the times when you can pick something easy that already exists versus the times when you need to really innovate and come up with something new from scratch. So be sure to look at UI patterns and familiar concepts that already exist. This will help you design faster, and it will also be easier for your users or customers to interact with because it's familiar, so it's easier for them to use. Next thing to remember is that presentation skills are everything. Think of yourself as someone in marketing and you're selling something. You need people to buy in. So when you're presenting a solution, whether it's a complete solution or it's halfway through or it's a thought process, you would want people to buy into your solution. And the best way to get them to buy into it is for them to really understand your process, understand your thinking patterns that led you to this solution. And that is where awesome presentation skills come in. And you could use Google Slides or whatever to show your ideas. So you really want to ensure that you can walk your audience through what you've created, what the goal was, what the problems were that you were solving, what steps you took to further understand the problem, what other solutions you explored, and so on. This really helps people to see you as a really committed designer, and it gives people a lot of context into how you go about solving your problems. Next thing to remember is to ask for help. Always, as much as possible, ask for help. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't overthink it. Just try to involve people when necessary. This could be other designers, developers, product owners, and so on. There might be something telling you that, oh, you don't want to bother people, but trust me, especially in a work environment, people want to feel involved. One of the worst things you can do as a designer in your career, or even in any career generally, is to be that person that doesn't involve other people in your work and just goes and comes back, and there isn't that interaction with others. It's really important to have people feel like their opinion matters and that you are not just working solo. So ask for help and include people in your work. Next thing is to stop comparing yourself with other people. It's absolutely not worth it, and you do not know what circumstances that they have that are unique to them, and also there are some circumstances that are unique to you that you need to focus on. Also, a lot of time when you see other designers that are designing really amazing looking stuff, it takes years of practice and hard work, and what you need to focus on is putting in a similar amount of practice and hard work on your own journey as a UX designer. Lastly, which is really related to the previous point, is take your time with yourself. This is very important. Pace yourself. Give yourself realistic milestones. You are not going to learn how to be a UX designer in 1 month or be the best UX designer in 1 month. You are going to need some time. So pace yourself, give yourself realistic timelines, give yourself realistic goals. So for example, you can say, I'm gonna create so-and-so within 2 months. It's doable. You're going to work on a particular app within 6 weeks, and so on. And these are important, actionable timelines that you can set for yourself. So if you put yourself under a lot of pressure and under really difficult timelines, it can be really hard to see the progress that you want, and you might just get discouraged or burnt out along the way. So take your time and take it easier on yourself. So I really hope that today's video was helpful, useful, and informative for you. If it was, please do not forget to support me by liking, sharing, commenting, and of course subscribing to my channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you next time.